Hello and welcome to this Swift programming video. My name is David Thorne. In this video we're going to be talking all about how dynamic dictionaries in structs and or classes, in this example we're going to use a class, it's a recipe for Swift bugs. Now let's just walk and talk through what we can see right now in this recipe, and just to try and give you a highlight of why this is a bug first of all. So what we have here is a class recipe, and we have a private property here called steps, and this takes a dictionary and it has the key of a string. Then it also has then the value is a collection of strings, and we're just initializing it with an empty dictionary. We then have the two simple functions down here. Get steps literally just returns, it's just this getter for this one steps here, right? We don't want people accessing this steps directly. They're going to have to use these helper methods to be able to add, remove or get individual steps. Now the second function here, the get steps for title, this is going to see whether or not the steps has this one key for the title, and if it does, it will return the collection of the strings here. Otherwise it will return nil, so it's an optional collection of strings that's going to get returned. Now what you can't do on dynamic dictionaries or dictionaries is you can't read them and write them at the same time. All right, so if we are iterating through all of the keys of this one steps, or iterating through all of the values of these steps in another part of the code or outside, then we definitely can't remove or add stuff to it whilst that process is going on, whilst that iteration is going on. We've got to wait until that finishes before we can start doing it. Now, if we're writing synchronous code, that's going to be no problem, because the for I in the steps is going to happen first, and then you're going to say get recipe here, right? This is all happening sequentially, right, one after the other, so we're not going to have any problems. But the question is when we start using multiple threads, right? And that one thread is removing, another thread is adding, and another thread is then getting the steps, and another thread is then getting a step. And they're all accessing these steps at exactly the same time. And this is going to more than likely cause a crash when you try and do this. Now, it might cause a bug, it might cause a data race, but in this example, the likelihood is it's going to cause just a pure crash, and the application is going to crash because you are accessing it when you're not permitted to access it. So in this video, I wanted to show you why this is a recipe for bugs. You've got to stop the read access while someone's writing to it, and you've got to stop the write access while someone's reading from it, right? And as we can see here, the add, we are writing to it, and when we are removing it, we are removing the things from it. So we can't have the get steps or the get steps here for title or get steps being called whilst we are within either of these. And you can't do the add and remove at the same time either, because this one might be adding this steps, and this one might be removing it. And in this remove, we might have to ask if this title exists already, just to be clear. But that would still need a read, whilst maybe another thread is calling remove to remove another one, and so on. So these are things that you have to think about before you start deploying code like this within a multi-threaded environment. All right, and if it is just a terminal app or something like that, and it's purely synchronous, purely sequential, and there's no multi-threading, then it would be safe to use this. However, it would be much better that you write concurrent. You write code that can work in concurrent situations on multiple threads, be it through Grand Central Dispatch or tasks, or anything else that might come up in the future, right? Write the code in the beginning to work well, and using Grand Central Dispatch, you know it's always going to work in the future, depending upon what other abstractions get put on top of it. You know, like tasks is sat on top of Grand Central Dispatch, and so on. So with that said, I hope you've got something out of this one video. I'm going to make a follow-up video to show you how we can turn this one recipe code into being thread safe. And the ultimate game is to be able to turn this recipe into a sendable type, all right? And in a previous video, we talked about mutable and also complex types. Well, this is a dynamic type because this steps here, the size of it and also the content of it can change, all right? So, and that's just the same as looking at a string. If we had, like, say, log here, and we was to allow the same access to this log, a string's length and size can change dynamically at runtime, all right? Just like this, this steps dictionary can change at runtime, and even the value collection can change its size and length at runtime too, all right? So this is a really important piece of information that you need to learn if you want to start talking about multi-threading applications. So with that said, I'm going to stop this video here so you can watch us convert this recipe into a thread safe type in up and coming videos. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and do all of the other social media things that could be possibly out there. If you've got any questions, feedback or concerns, then let's start a conversation in the comment section down below. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. My name's David Thorne, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.